Let's begin the game, guys. Hello, by the way.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Right on, Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Hello, guys, and welcome. Today we are playing the Stanley Parable Deluxe Edition.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Well, where is everyone? The machine's on.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Are they under the table? Oh, just turned it. Keyboard off? No. PC? Where is the meeting room? I'm not sure, guys. No. Seals in this quarter.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Do I? Or do I not? Let's see. Let's listen to the narrator and see what happens. Door shut, did it? It did. Is this meeting room?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. He's a whiteboard manager. Are we going to the boss?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, what if he's downstairs? He's not in his office, sure. Oh, what's this? It looks like a cat on a bike and a couple of cactus.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours.
Yes.
He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
I
And for
agree.
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they
Yeah.
simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an
Let's wake
explanation.
up.
His
Oh.
co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield. And
No,
it too
no.
appeared. It was so much fun. And
Oh, this
Stanley marveled
is
that he had still
fun.
not woken up. How
This
was he remaining so
is
lucid?
no.
And then
Stay in
perhaps the
space.
strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
What?
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
What did I not ask myself?
Why is there a voice in my head
Yeah, well, I was
dictating
thinking that, to be
everything
fair.
that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly
Yes,
strange.
yes.
I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
That's not too awake, you know.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
I did.
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
I'm going round in circles, man.
So he closed his eyes gently,
Okay.
and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything
I am
will
boring.
be fine. I am okay.
No, we're still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh, jeez.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn
thought
to
it jumped off the
call for an
building.
ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Whoa, I'm back. This is like a loop, like a cycle. That was not a good life cycle. I ended up dead, guys. Talk about a first trip out on the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't like not doing what I was told to do. Let's turn your computer off. It's wasting electric. Yes, yes. We have to conform.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes, I did. I did. We went to the meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yes, my boss would give me answers. That's what I thought. Only we need to find him.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Run! Is he on the shitter? No, he's not in there. Hello, secretary. I've got an appointment. Oh, what's this? Ah, don't shoot the panda, man. Your business strategy is shoot the panda? What the hell is that?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
No, I wouldn't have known that.
By simply pushing
I was
random
just
buttons on
luck.
the keypad,
Pure
Stanley
luck.
happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Where? Oh. The hell is this? That doesn't look like it fits that gap, you know, to be honest. What's going on? Is this the only way? I don't want to get into the dark elevator.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was
Indeed.
a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Because he is a yes man.
Stanley walked straight ahead through
The
the
hell
large
is
door
this?
that read Mind Control Facility.
That doesn't sound good. What about escape? What about escape, guys? I know we said we were going to follow the rules, but look at the fog, man. That looks inviting. Let's go.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What? No, I wouldn't. I was only joking. We're not going to escape. We're going back.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it
Yeah.
and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Or what if I knew you were going to say that? So I was just testing you and you
Nope,
passed.
still on board with death?
Alright, you double bluffed me. I'm going to go back. Alright. Well played, sir. Touche.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, I don't know. Oh, there's a place here. I'm standing looking about. Camera.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Oh,
their
Jesus.
true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Oh,
Stanley's
what?
co-workers.
Ah!
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility.
Yes.
Welcome. You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go.
What?
New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content?
Yeah,
Always
new
more
stuff.
content, more content,
More.
more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section.
Nice.
You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's
Right.
a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Ooh.
We call this track
I feel very
Good
special.
job, you've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Well done.
Where's my music? Oh yeah, here we go. Good.
Good job.
Good
Did it.
job. I did it.
Good job.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1. Good job.
Good
Made it
job.
to the bottom of the mind control facility.
Oh yeah.
You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful.
But I fell.
Used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. And I believe in you.
Thank
I believe in
you.
your ability to cross this barrier.
Oh.
Chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
I
Good
did.
job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
I
Good
did.
job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
I
Good
did.
job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Good job. I did it. Whee!